Hi Year 3, hope you're doing okay. Today I thought I would do a little video to demonstrate to you one of the activities for the curriculum board for week 8. So the activity I'm going to share with you is how to make a ZigZag book. So to be ready to do this activity, you're going to need a picture book for younger children of your own choice. Now I've chosen The Very Hungry Caterpillar as my book to base my own ZigZag book on. However, you could choose The Gruffalo, Vroom on a Broom, We're Going on a Bear Hunt. You can choose whatever kind of picture book that you have at home. You're also going to need some A4 paper, some glue, a pen or pencil, some scissors, and a set of colouring pencils or felt tips. So now I'm going to show you how to make the pages for your ZigZag book. So you need to take a piece of A4 paper and fold it in half lengthways. And make sure you press down so you've got a nice clean fold. Then you're going to try to fold that half into thirds and then press down so you've got little creases. Then you open it up again, and can you see these lines here? That's where you're going to cut. And then if you open them up, a bit tricky, it's stuck together. Then you will have 3 pages for a book. So once you've created your first sheet that gives you 3 pages for a book, you can just continue to make pages using the same strategy, fold in half lengthways, then fold up into thirds, and then cut along the folds, and you end up with sheets of paper like this. So after you have read the storybook, you're going to create your own version. And the top tip for how to create the best looking book is to keep the left-hand side of each page as your illustration page and the right-hand side of your page to retell the story. So the first point in my story is one night there was a little yellow egg laying on a green leaf. And I've remembered to put the page number on the bottom. So picture on one side, writing on the other. Okay. So you continue making each part of the story using illustrations on one side, writing on the other, and you carry on until you've completed the retelling of the story. Now the best thing to do is not to just make a version that's identical to the original. Use your own imagination, because I think you can all use better description in the books to make your stories much more interesting. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to assemble your book. So once you've created all of the different pages, we now need to work out how to stick them together. So hopefully you've remembered the pattern of illustration on one side, writing on the other. So you take your first 2 pages, and what you're going to do is fold one page over, and you are going to glue like this onto the back of the writing on the first page. Then you take your next page and you are basically going to stick the illustration and the writing back to back. So can you see I've got a little fold? This is my first page. I glued on the back of my writing and stuck the picture side to the back of the writing side. Watch again and I'll do another page for you. So here's the writing side. Turn it over, put some glue on, and then stick the back of the illustration onto that part, and you carry on in the same way until you've got all of your pages stuck. So now you've finished sticking all your pages, you will have a mini book that looks something like this. And you'll notice that on every page, you've got the picture on one side, the writing on the next. Now, you could just leave your book so it looks like this, but I'm going to show you a really clever way of making your book look all neat and finished. So, to create a front cover and a back cover for your ZigZag book, what you need to do is cut the same piece of paper like you did for the rest of the pages. But this time, instead of doing the illustration on the left-hand side and the writing on the right, I want you to turn the piece of paper over so that this time you're going to have the blurb written on the left side and the front cover illustration on the right side. So once you've got your front cover ready, what you need to do is turn it back over and cover it all in glue. The more the better, to make sure that it doesn't come off. And then all you need to do is take your book, make sure that this page, the very first page that's got the illustration on, you stick that down like so, so it looks like you've got the front cover on, and then the very back page you stick down as neatly as you can to the blurb, so that now you'll have your very own mini book. So here is my completed ZigZag book, The Greediest Caterpillar in the World by Mrs. Aris. One night there was a little yellow egg laying on a green leaf. The following morning, as the sun began to come up, crack, out of the egg appeared a teeny tiny, hungry caterpillar. He crawled around everywhere looking for food because his tummy was rumbling. He ate through one red apple. His tummy still rumbled. The following day, he ate through 2 juicy green pears. His tummy was still rumbling. Next morning, the caterpillar was still feeling very peckish. He found 3 purple plums and ate right through them. He was still hungry. After having a little nap, he woke up with an extremely empty tummy. He came across 4 beautifully ripe strawberries. He gobbled them all up. He woke up the next morning and was excited to find 5 delicious oranges just waiting to be eaten. After nibbling his way through all of them, he sat on a log and dreamt of lots of delicious treats. The next morning, Caterpillar awoke from his dream and licked his lips. His tummy was grumbling loudly and he was starving. He couldn't believe his luck when he came across a whole picnic basket of treats, so he gobbled them right up. Unfortunately, later that day, Caterpillar had the most awful tummy ache. He felt sick because he had been a very greedy caterpillar. There was nothing else he could do but sleep it off. The next morning, Caterpillar awoke bright and early. He felt so much better and decided to be much more sensible and just nibbled through 1 green tasty leaf. Finally, the caterpillar wasn't hungry anymore. He wasn't a tiny caterpillar anymore. He was a huge, plump, content caterpillar. He decided it was time to have a jolly good rest, so he built a cocoon around himself and fell fast asleep for 2 whole weeks. Sometime later, he nibbled a hole in the side of his cocoon. With a jiggle and a squeeze, he pushed his way out, and he wasn't a caterpillar anymore. He was the beautiful, bright butterfly. The end. And there you have your very own ZigZag book.